Welcome everyone to the second section of the Tower of Spirits, where we will obtain the Snow Rail map, also known as the Snow Glyph by our British buddies over yonder. Our first course of action is obviously to obtain the 3 tiers of light in this room. The first one is found on top of a small platform in the middle of the lava. I'm going to use the whirlwind to blow it over to the other side, and we'll snag that in a moment. Just watch out for the patrolling phantom. At this point, I could have run off to the left and entered the safe zone if it did see me, but instead I just hit against the wall here until the phantom passed. So notice that I was using the line of sight of this wall to keep it from seeing me. So that's definitely an option. There's all these faces that are against the wall, these statue things, and they blow fire, and you obviously want to wait for a gap between their fire breathing in order to sneak past. This can be kind of frustrating, especially if you're running away from a phantom, because you could end up getting right up against some fire and you can't escape their blades. Then you will die. Now this tier here is pretty self-explanatory, just watch out for the fire. The last one is a little trickier on the far left. There is another one of these fire-breathing statue things, but it's breathing fire constantly. In order to get past, you need to wait for the phantom that's patrolling back and forth on the far north side of the room. When he passes in front of the fire, then you can sneak past and grab the final tier. At this point, you can either trick the phantom into coming and seeing you, so that you can get a phantom, or you can tap against one of the walls with your sword and get it to come investigate. This way you can lure it over to the safe zone, and then you can go and strike it from behind. Alright, so Zelda explains that this phantom armor can withstand extreme temperatures. Have her stand in front of the flames, and now you can get out of this area. Now, at this point, you can now use her to block any flames from now on, so that's pretty sweet. Head over to the right, and there is a chest here that you could have opened earlier, but I like to wait until I have Zelda with me, just so I have options in case a phantom starts getting close. If I get nervous, then I can just have her go talk with it to distract it. Head south, and then now we obviously can't go through this lava here, but now we have a phantom with us. This next area has more lava as well as 2 keys that could circle around and hit you if you're not careful. Now, as surprised as you may be to hear this, getting knocked into lava is generally considered unpleasant. At least that's what I've been told. I haven't actually experienced it personally in real life, but to avoid that particular circumstance, you can use the whirlwind to stun the keys and make them plop down to the red stuff. Haha! Now, I like to keep my distance while doing this, just to be on the safe side. In order to proceed, we need to whirlwind the 2 propeller dealios around here. The first one is to the far north, while the other one is on the far left side in the middle of the lava. Along the way, you may want to watch out for the other keys and just make sure you get it taken care of. Now, it's interesting to note that you can't use your sword while on top of Zelda's shield. You never can. Now, because you have to tap to get off the shield in the first place, I can see how Nintendo decided to remove the sword swiping functionality entirely, just so that people didn't, jump into the lava in all these situations and then on accident, and then repeatedly doing this over and over again, thinking this was the only way to defeat enemies. So, I don't know, in my own experience, I like not dying. It's kind of nice, really, so that's why you have to defeat the keys with the whirlwind. Now make sure you grab the chest here, because if you don't, you're crazy. Once you have both of the propeller thingies spinning, you want to this will open the next door, hop onto the princess's shield, and then work your way to the far left side of the map. Now here's an interesting puzzle. You can see this skull on your map, and it turns out to be a yellow spinet who runs away from you. Hardly seems worthy of a skull, in my opinion. Regardless, you can't corner it on your own to defeat it, so how are we supposed to do this? The solution is to position Zelda so that she's blocking one of the exits, and then come at it from the other side yourself. Close the gap and slash away to get the small key that will then open the door to the north. That's all we can do on this floor for now, so work your way to the next one. History time! Now, a lot of the earlier Zelda games, they had aquatic, humanoid-looking enemies that were called Zoras, and they would often use projectile attacks, but occasionally they'd come after you in melee range as well, and they'd try and, claw you up or whatever. And these were called Zoras. And in more recent games, though, Zoras have actually been friendly, and you can talk with them, and they have their own culture and all that kind of stuff. But in Phantom Hourglass, they actually made a Zora enemy again, even though they haven't had a Zora enemy in a very long time. So it's kind of interesting, but I assume there was probably some negative reaction to that, because now Nintendo decided for this game, the game immediately following Phantom Hourglass, they have the exact same enemy, but they changed the way it looks a little bit, and now they're calling it a Geozard. So this fish-faced juggernaut is invulnerable from the front due to their large shield, and to defeat it you need to team up with Zelda and attack it from both sides. Just watch out because it will occasionally lunge forward at you, and because of this, you want to be prepared to stop controlling Zelda and dodge with Link instead. Anyway, try to keep the Geozard kind of between you two, and then draw a line from her to the warrior, and while it's distracted, you want to quickly stab it in the back repeatedly to damage it. Now, a little awkward, but not too bad. If you can manage to keep them kind of spaced out just right, you can actually defeat these things very quickly. Now, if you got hurt at all during the fight, there are some recovery hearts in the jars in the corner. Up ahead, it's actually smarter to send Zelda on ahead. We have a new enemy here called a mounted mini-blin, which is a mini-blin on top of an Armos. Kind of an odd pair, and it's invincible from the ground, so we'll have to avoid them for now. Have Zelda stand in the fire on the far right, and then even though that's not a very polite thing to make a princess do, but if it may take a bit for you to maneuver past these enemies, I'm not sure if that should be plural or not. They kind of count as one enemy, but whatever. Alrighty, so from this perch here, you can then hop on her shield just like when we were crossing the lava earlier. As long as Zelda's at a lower elevation than you, you can tap on her shield to get on. Now, of course, it's good to make sure she's close enough. I'm not really sure what the deal was with that, but I guess just because I had her following me still, she was trying to go too far to the bottom of the stairs or something, I don't know. So make her stop following you, make her color pink, and then you can jump on. Now, at this point, you could optionally head back and kill the mounted mini-blin back there, but that won't actually accomplish anything for us. Our next goal is to head to the bottom right corner of the map, where there's a small key on this upper platform. To reach it, you need to be riding on Zelda's shield and have her walk through the lower flames, and then wait for the upper one to stop blowing and quickly go through. To reach the small key, you just need to use the whirlwind to blow it off the ledge. It'll drop down on the opposite side. That's all we had to do here from this vantage point, so you could double tap to get down if you like. However, if you plan on killing some of the mounted mini-blins in head, you should just stay on top of her shield. Now, you can have her walk over the key to pick it up instead, which is pretty cool. I bet you for a lot of you people who have played this before, this is your second time playing through, or third or fourth or whatever, you probably didn't know that, because I didn't know that either until I was messing around with it here. So work your way back left and start going through the middle of the map here, and there are two mounted mini-blins, and I'll just kill one of them real quick just to show how it's done. Use the whirlwind to blow the mini-blin off, and then go chase it down before it tries to get back on. If you can successfully defeat it, the Armos, its counterpart, will then explode. If instead you mess up and wish to try again, you'll have to go back to the ledge to regain your height, unfortunately. Kind of annoying going back and forth like that. Anyway, you aren't required to kill those guys, they're entirely optional, so don't sweat it. You can just skip right past them. When you're ready to proceed, head north and unlock the door to reach the stairs. That's the end of this section of the Tower of Spirits, and within the next room you'll find the next piece of the rail map, the Snow Glyph. That concludes this video as well as this chapter. Thank you guys for joining me, and if you'd like to follow along for the next video, I will be acquiring some goodies before heading off to the Snow Realm. See you then.